I'm very excited about this session for two reasons. One, it very tangibly talks about the opportunities, and it also brings the whole story of enterprise from each one of our panelists. All personal favorites, all entrepreneurs with great grit and determination. And we have Amrita, who's going to moderate the session for us and sort of take over the conversation from there. Just a quick introduction of our panelists. We've got Raj Kundra, who's flown down all the way, and the many hats he wears. But I think this is very exciting to have on board today. We've got Kanika from JetSetGo. While I think the Ubers and Olas are sort of fighting it on the road, Kanika took it a notch up and did a Uber for planes and helicopters. So you can actually book a plane by using the venture that she's building. We've got Jas, who is again a friend, partner, and also doing really exciting things with digital. His company recently ran a campaign called Digital Desh, and I hope he shares a little bit about that. And he runs a company called Now Floats, a company that's literally taking every small and medium business online. In less than half a minute, 3 minutes, he's got some really interesting SLAs over there. And we've got Smita, and Smita is a serial entrepreneur and somebody who's super inspiring for a couple of reasons. One, I think she belongs to an industry which, from where I see it, is traditional now. IT services, QA, testing. And here's somebody who's reinvented herself to launch a product which is a consumer-centric. She's launched an app called Pool Wallet, which is an expense-sharing app. So I think a range out there, and this is what real Digital India is all about. This is what Women Build Digital Opportunities is all about. I won't take much of your time. Over to you, Amrita, and over to you, panelists. I invite you on stage. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for your patience. It's an incredible panel, very inspiring, but we're all tempted at some level just to not talk and tweet each other and see what you make of that. You can also be tweeting us your questions. I think what's incredible and quite unique about this panel is all of you are defying stereotypes at some level. And Raj, I mean, even the conversations we were having a little bit before and as Sairi introduced you, we have a certain image of you as a public personality, savvy businessman, yes, but what we're going to start with is perhaps ask you, what are the synergies when it comes to Best Deal TV and Sheroes?
Good afternoon, everybody. Firstly, thank you very much for having me here. It's an honor and a pleasure to be on this panel. And I just love the initiative that Sheroes is doing. A big part of our business, Best Deal TV, is women empowerment. I work for my Shero, Shilpa Shetty, she's the boss of the company. I'm highly underpaid, and half the time it's in kind. But I love my job. The idea behind Sheroes and Best Deal Tying Up was to empower ladies who want to work from home, ladies who want to get back into business, and give them something innovative, give them something interesting that they can really go and pitch and sell. And I like the whole Women Digital because we've started the app whilst we're a TV commerce business, and all our products are about demonstration. So whilst everyone was jumping into e-commerce, we jumped into TV commerce, and we still believe that the TV commerce market is still way, way bigger when you go tier 2, tier 3 cities. And the partnership with Sheroes enables us to get the lady power that we need behind us, our DCA agents. And yeah, fingers crossed, we're hoping to get at least 5,000 between now and March. And the goal is to have 20,000 ladies in the next 2 years being our foot soldiers, working for us and working with us. And that will probably be more than 50% of our TV commerce business. So you're going to be a big part of our business.
Smita, to weigh in a little bit. I mean, we were talking a little bit earlier about Cool Wallet, of course, and I hope you share a little bit about that as well. But in terms of, breaking stereotypes, in terms of being a disruptive influence, I think what we heard a little bit in the first with the keynote address and chat as well, and especially from a comment from the, from the audience, which was that women are conditioned in many ways to think of themselves in certain roles. I know a lot of women have trouble, and we've seen this, sort of leading onwards this conversation that started about women not asking for money, not being conditioned to ask for money in the same way. But also there's been this whole theory that women aren't really good as mentors. That, when women are successful, and of course Sheroes proves this completely wrong, but when women aren't successful, there's not necessarily that model that you have of, say, the old boys club, or pulling people up. And you said that's a very important part of what you're trying to do.
Yes. I don't want to talk more about Cool Wallet per se about it, but first let's take a step back, and instead of looking at it from Cool Wallet's story or some particular product, let's look at it from the community itself. Look at it as a community. How fortunate do we feel as women that we are able to at least reach up to this platform? There is a huge mass which has not been able to do this even. And I'm not talking about those who are illiterate, or those who are digitally illiterate, or those who are really, really backward in rural areas. I'm talking about pretty much ladies in urban areas. I'm talking about a lot of those deserving ladies who actually deserve to sit amongst us, but are not getting that opportunity. And maybe some time back we didn't have enough leaders from women community, and therefore we were looking at them as a small community or people who are not able to mentor others. But I think today the things are changing. We have a lot of women leaders, a lot of them whom we follow, and we can reach out to them, whether it is from the international level and organizations like Lean In, or whether it is Sheroes in India, Sairi, and people like them. And it's our responsibility to a large extent that when we reach the next level, let's pull those who are somewhere in our periphery, and we can influence them and pull them out of their periphery and bring them to the next level. So, and that's pretty much happening. We just need to have the momentum going on.
And that's part of being in this whole ecosystem, isn't it? I mean, we're all here in this space. I think that the topic here is pretty great about women sort of making digital India. But Kanika, as the CEO of JetSetGo, which has been called the Uber for planes, and as we heard from Vijay, it'll be nice to scale up problems to that level. That we need to use your the services of JetSetGo. But you are also defying stereotypes in a way. I mean, you have this anecdote. I'm not sure if you want to share it, but in terms of when you walk into a boardroom, there are already preconceptions about who should be in this industry.
Yeah, so what Amrita's talking about is we'd gone to make a huge presentation to one of India's largest corporate houses on how they should use our services and how we're probably better than the current travel ecosystem. And I was the last person to walk in, and someone turned around and said, "Ma'am, can you get us 2 cups of coffee, please?" So, I mean, we were the ones making a pitch there, so obviously I couldn't fight it out as such. I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll just ask someone to do it for you." Then when we began to go on with the presentation and stuff, they just couldn't figure out whether a 27-year-old girl would be able to operate planes for them which are safe and efficient and everything else. They're just used to seeing 50, 55-year-old men from the ex-services taking care of this. We fought our way through. We said, you know what, if we can't convince you on value, let us convince you on price. And that we did. We proved ourselves for 2 months, and recently we had a little feedback meeting for them, and they said in the past 8 years, no one's done a greater job for them than us. So it obviously was a victory, but yeah.
So, I mean, at some level, with all the stories that we're hearing, are that there are hurdles, of course, and I think that's something that will be interesting for everyone to talk about a little bit in terms of your stories, the opportunities, but the challenges, how you rise above these. And Jasminder, when we're talking about now floats, and we will get to Digital Desh also, I just want to let Anu know. But you've said that that your hope and your goal is to have every local business person online by 2020. That's incredible.
Sure.
Maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So when we is this okay? I'm sure it is. Yeah. So when we started Now Floats, and our products are now just 3 years old in the market, and gave up a large corporate career to do it, and really the aim of the company is to empower local small businesses who have actually no other way to get online, and it still remains a very large problem. So when we started, and sorry I didn't carry my smartphone. So when we started, we what Vijay was saying, and I want to resonate that for a second. anybody who's trying to be an entrepreneur, solve an Indian problem in the Indian way. And that's what the differentiation in the world is. When we started 3 years back, we used to give websites which were generated from SMS. You could send 3 text messages in whatever Sari said, half a minute, and you could get a website, and the 4th message onwards was content on that site. And by simply breaking so many barriers, without using an internet, without using expertise, without using a smartphone, without anything, you could just, everybody knows how to do a text message, and in today's world, everybody knows how to do a WhatsApp. We were able to break down such great barriers of technology and to bring people online in a way where they can update their site and get highly search engine optimized on Google. That's what the core of what we do. And we were able to do that, and we threw it out in the market, and so it's been 3 years, and we have 180,000 customers in 3 years of just doing such a thing. And my team and I sit down and we look at this and we say, "Ye kya ho raha hai? What is this, man? 180,000." Just to give you an example, Just Dial went IPO at 300,000 customers after 15 years. So, you're just comparing yourself with someone who's taken that much long to reach that stage, and we are able to do it because of the ease of technology. And it's no joke on our platform that today the largest category of people on our platform is apparel stores. That's the largest category of 150,000 paid customers that we have, and 180,000 total. Out of them, most of them are women running boutiques from their house.
Wow.
It's amazing, right? I mean, you've broken barriers. And then that's what we do, and that's just amazing to see in 3 years, from where we've come from, and how many women entrepreneurs we actually aggregate on our platform is just mind-blowing to us.
And also, I mean, you're saying the small and medium enterprise, people who would not be online otherwise.
Oh, these people are your local mom and shop boutique stores. These are your local, you get the point, from Kirana upwards, right? We do also have Fast Track and Levi's as a customer, but that's the separate part. But the guys, anybody can get up and get online, and that's what internet does about democratization of technology. And we'll talk about this. I think women have to play a large part of that.
And Raj, just to come back, because I mean, of course, Best Deal TV, it's a TV commerce platform. It's not the most intuitive leap, but does this sort of bear out what Vijay was saying earlier about, you need to be the customer first and think of a business in that model, because it's a great idea. It's celebrity-driven TV shopping, essentially.
I think what we've seen in India and with brands is that cricket and Bollywood sells, and every second product is either cricket, Bollywood. It was under our nose. We thought it made sense to launch a celebrity channel. We have the celebrities. We don't need to pay out of our nose to get them on board. They trust Shilpa, Akshay, me, and they know that we're going to be pretty transparent. So the first leg, which we thought would be the hardest leg, was the easiest to overcome. And then for the customer, when you watch, I'm sure a lot of you turn on the TV at night and you see some balding man or some lady who wants to lose weight, and they say, "Arey, ye khao to aap patle ho jaoge." So there's a lot of scams that happen on TV, and it's very unorganized. So we felt by launching Best Deal TV, we can bring that confidence, because if Akshay, Shilpa, I, and various artists say something, they're going to put their money where their mouth is, and if we sell a product, it does what it says it does. TV commerce is about demonstration. If you're convinced by the product, by our demonstration, then we've done a great job. Unlike e-commerce, where it's just two-dimensional, you see a picture, a description. We are more targeted towards Tier 2, Tier 3 cities, because Tier 1, everyone's sort of online at the moment. But funny enough, even after going online, no disrespect to Vijay, but still 90% of our business is cash on delivery. So I don't know why, but hopefully soon we'll integrate Paytm. I think Paytm has done a fantastic job. We would love to definitely integrate Payment Gateway. We're in talks with them. And what we've achieved in just 7 months, the other shopping channels who've been around for the last 15, 20 years have not been able to achieve. And the biggest thing is confidence, and the ladies at home are comfortable buying from us. The maximum TG is 70% of our customers are female audience at home who shop, so thank you for your business.
Very nice.
And also because you got Shilpa on your side.
I was just going to say, I know.
Let's be honest about this, right?
Yeah.
It's a secret weapon, not the secret
I was going to say,
no disrespect to you.
not at all. Vijay ke paas maa hai, Jack maa, mere paas Shilpa hai.
But also you were saying that, I mean, that you're also looking at, for example, from the Sheroes community, direct change agents who would be women, you'll be tapping that. It's an entire ecosystem that you're looking at.
Absolutely. So we're trying to create an Amway, but without going to multi-level direct channel. All our products, our exclusive products, will be available to agents who sign up with us. They can then go and further sell and on everything they sell, they get a commission paid every month to them. They have to take care of nothing. We do the advertising, they just book the order, we do the delivery, we collect the cash, and every month we reconcile your accounts.
Lovely.
So we believe that this army that we build will be, like I said, over 50% of our business will come from direct channel agents.
Okay. And Kanika, I mean, you never know, there might be synergies there. You know, chartered a jet on Best Deal TV.
Of course.
You're also the BBC's 30 under 30 list. So I was just saying, it's quite incredible. So congratulations on that. There are so many categories that you straddle, and I think what's incredible is that you don't, I mean, you're not going to be boxed in one of them. You know, I mean, I know that you have lots of interests and passions, but perhaps some of the stories about, you know, surviving cancer in the first place, using that as an inspiration when it comes to other challenges in your life. Could you share some of that?
Yeah, so cancer actually worked in my favor. I know it's hard to believe, but I come from a very orthodox Marwari family, and you know, one of those people where balance sheets are exchanged before you get married, rather than the girl and the boy are liking each other. So once cancer happened, my parents were like, now what? How are we going to get her married? And I was like, yes, this is the best thing that could have happened, because, you know, I had this plan in mind. I wanted to implement it, but the only shortcoming was that at the end of the day, you do what the adults around you want to do, especially when you're 20, 19, 21, etc. But when cancer happened, it actually gave me 9 months to sit at home, think over what I want to do, how I want to do it. And honestly, at that time, the race wasn't about surviving the disease. I just knew I would survive. And I always knew it had happened for the better, like I said. And the biggest learning from cancer probably was that, yeah, if I could beat cancer, then I can beat anything in the world. So when, you know, people come and tell me, why aviation? If you're a billionaire, you'll become a millionaire. I said, that's exactly what I'm here to turn around. I'll show you how aviation is profitable. And touch wood, we've been profitable even before we got invested in. Wow. Month on month, we're showing profit.
You know, Smita, we were talking a little bit about, you know, and it's interesting that you bring up the family background at some level, because everyone has to kind of fight, whether it's social conditioning, wherever the pressures are coming from, you know. I think what's inspiring sometimes is to see the reason we all love role models is because they kind of challenge, you know, your imagination, your boundaries expand. You know, if I see you leading a, you know, aviation company, initially I was thinking of that 55-year-old man, you know, maybe, I mean, the next generation will be like, hey, that's a possibility. So I think that's quite incredible. But there is always, I think, and in many stories, that sort of tussle, right, where you're believing in something passionately, but you have to kind of stake out your ground.
Correct. Thank you. Yes, I will agree with you that was a bigger problem. That is still a problem for, especially for women. As much as we would like to say, it's still a struggle, whether to choose family, whether to choose work, how do you manage when I'm needed by the kids, when I'm needed by the family. But let me add here that this is probably the right kind of empowerment, digital India or digital Desh or digital drive. The digitization of so many services is the right kind of empowerment that actually helps a woman to be free of this choice. Can I work or can I take care of my family? Well, I can do both. And with pretty ease, I have so many services. Outsource everything that's not related to your kids or your husband, your laundry, your cleaning. Outsource everything that you can do away with, yes. And there are services, there are so many of them coming up, whether it's dry cleaning, whether it is cleaning, whether it is, I mean, urban clap, for that matter, you need anything electrician stuff. So just women can make their life easier and work better, be more efficient at work and with their family stuff, if they know all their tools and technologies. And digitalization is actually making that happen. I was shying away from talking more about Pool Wallet in this respect earlier, but let me give you a small snippet from my story. Maybe it would be of some use to you. I'm basically an engineer, computer science engineer, and got married when I was 22. And right before my final year's paper, my marriage was fixed and everything. And that didn't impact me in any ways. My placement was done. I was pretty much on my way to work. And happily, my marriage and my work both were in Delhi. So everything worked out fairly. I had my kids. All my 20s went into childbearing and growing them. And let me be honest, I see one of my ex-bosses also. I don't know if Rashmi is here still. I bumped into her somewhere in this forum, and I was very happy to see her. She was one of my ex-bosses, and I was working with HCL Technologies back then. And I mean, it's the kind of environment that was given to me that I could actually make it happen for myself.
After 3 months, 90 days of maternity, I was like, what do I do now? I have to go back to work, right? Because that's what is allowed. And the kind of people that I had there at my work actually allowed me to join back. And that was a major milestone. Had I not joined back then, and I extended and kept on extending and kept on extending, maybe I would lose my motivation to work, because that was my first child. I wasn't sure if I have to work, I have not to work. I wasn't experienced enough to understand whether can I handle everything. After my second child, I obviously had the confidence that I can do it. Now bringing it back to Pool Wallet. So as an engineer, I started working with various companies, RBS, Fidelity Investments, gained some financial understanding. I came up with one of my companies called QA Zone, which is a software testing firm. And it's not really touching the lives of a daily person per se. It's more of a IT services company. And that's what started to bother me after a few years. It did well. I'm looked upon as a respected person in my area of software testing, so that helped me in building my business. But after a certain time, I was like, okay, what more? That's in an auto mode. I'll keep growing. It's a services company, not a product company. There'll be I would say, standard growth line. It won't be a product, because in products, okay, let me say this. People say when you make products, you earn money while you're sleeping, because somebody is downloading, somebody is working on it. When it's services, you're only earning when you're actually waking up, you're working. So, but I was okay with that too. But somewhere I was passionate to touch lives of normal people. I wanted to actually go out and have those kind of consumers whom I see daily. Maybe my doodwala, my press wali, my bai, some people. And frankly, that was not where Pool Wallet was born. Pool Wallet was born to share expenses amongst friends. And we have pivoted from there, all because of these ladies that I come across. Because we are obviously a wallet of wallets. We plug in MobiKwik, we plan to plug in Oxygen, and different wallets that we have. We have PayU Money on us, and we're planning to do the same with Paytm. So we have different wallets with us, and we allow our consumers to use any of those wallets to make the purchase or the share that they want. But besides that, we looked at a B2B side. There's so many small and medium enterprises which want to come online. Once they're online, they're taking online payments. How many of them are really in a position to act? And since there are a lot of ladies there, how many of them actually want to go out and integrate once with this wallet, then with next one, then with and every other day there's a new wallet coming up. Every bank is coming up with their new wallets. So that's where the Pool Wallet was born. And then when we started to use it, I realized how many times do you really share? Because expenses to be shared online, how many times do you really share in a day or in a week? So this app is going to be used, say, twice a month, because that's what you share, right? Maybe not even that much. So to bring more usability, we actually made it a request payment and send payment stuff, which you can do it for everyone. And these ladies whom I see around me, especially my press wali, frankly, she actually made me think this. How about, because she collects the clothes, she does the ironing, she collects small amounts of money, and that's actually very much accessible to the entire family. She doesn't have an account of her own where, and it's not about banked and unbanked customer. Even as a banked customer, if you're carrying cash in your family, it's still something that has an access to all of the male members and female members, and you do not know if those people are allowing this lady who's actually earning this money to spend it the way she wants. So what we did was, we kind of pivoted and we started to think from the smartphones and the world there, we kind of pivoted to let's build a product that's not only for B2C smart customers, B2B SMEs, but our next step that we are taking forward is for such people who are, especially ladies, who are actually working in such conditions where they earn money, but it may not really remain to them. So we are allowing them to take online money with messages. So your press wali can actually give you a message asking for that money, and you just say pay with Pool Wallet, and whichever wallet you want to pay through, it's done, and it goes directly to her wallet. And we are actually encouraging them, even if they're not a banked customer, we are encouraging them to get a wallet and start using that wallet online for their own purposes.
That's So interesting. So again, I mean, it's interesting because it's also giving the power, you're saying basically, of finances, which we know is a problem often for women, giving it back to them. And in that sense, it's also kind of like an Indian problem and solution in some ways. You know, some of these are very culturally nuanced. If we want to talk a little bit about digital Desh for sure, but also when we look at now floats and the way you're approaching, and there's a lot of similarity in terms of the bigger picture, you know. When you're also, I mean, I think one of your investors did say that there's a unique mix of global and Indian in your thinking, in your app. Can you take us through that a little bit?
Sure. So, you know, this is interesting in what you're saying, and I think we should talk separately. But I think the point is that
we're all ears, we're listening. It's fine.
That press wali. Let's talk about the press wali. The press wali is still going to appreciate cash till she cannot use the wallet for another 20 things. Today, if you sit in that Uber or Ola cab, the guy says, "Sir, aap paise de dijiye." You've gone through that, right? He prefers cash because he knows aaj raat ko ghar mein chula jalna hai. He needs that versus 3 days of what Ola pays and a week that Uber pays him cash, and you have to go deep into this driver's psyche. So it's going to happen, by the way. So we also come from the same ethos. You know, we remain very global in our thinking. We've got an office in Kenya, we've got a lab in Stanford, but we innovate for India. We were very clear about that. We're not making a global product for global teams, but we're making an Indian first product by using global minds. And they can come and sit in India and help us solve this large billion problem. And a billion guys is a lot of people, right? I mean, this is the heart of the world. And you know, to a segue to the women problem, which we are all, you know, bringing it up, and I'm very harsh in saying this, you know, this whole women issue we keep talking about, I'm pretty harsh in saying that. And before I say something, I'm going to take the permission to say it. You know, the Canadian president, do you know who, we got a Canadian Prime Minister, who just came on board. You guys know that? You know his press conference? Did anybody listen to his press conference? You know, he was asked the question, why is your cabinet so diverse and why are 50% women in that? And I'm going to repeat that answer, which is such a pertinent answer. So I'm going to repeat the question again. He was asked a question that why is your cabinet 50% women and why diverse, you know, why Aborigines and Sardars and what else? He says, because it's 2015. And that's the largest line you can say to anyone in a conference like this. It's 2015. There is no women inequality left, guys. It's just so past. You know, and I say this with so many metaphors, you know, when we started writing Now Floats, one of the biggest problems we faced in India was that the average Indian consumer / customer was very lazy. You know, we are a very lazy country when you come down to engagement, and, you know, we are a do-it-for-me country, right? We don't download apps ourselves other than WhatsApp, Facebook, and maybe Flipkart. We don't download apps, right? We're very lazy in finding on what's new. You know, and especially small businesses are very, you know, they're very overworked. All small businesses, entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, overworked. I mean, there's family, there's so many other things. We just become lazy over the years because we are overworked, right? And, you know, we were trying to solve this problem of how do we engage a customer to come back and update his site? There's a large problem on our table. It's the core of what we do. And the answer came from a 19-year-old girl, born, brought in Hyderabad, in our office for an internship. Of course, she went to the US and finished her education and came back. But 19-year-old girl, you know, I report to her almost. You know, and her name is Ria. And that product she created, which we patented when she was 19 years of age, is called RIA, which is Relationship Intelligence Agent. So we bestowed that IP, the intellectual property that we created, on her name, and she was just 19. So what I'm trying, there's so many myths about what can be done and what cannot be done, and just the, you know, there are so many inspirational stories around and metaphors around that, and, you know, I think the digital opportunity is a huge opportunity because now you can actually give the kapda to the press valley while you're doing a blog which is globally going to be used as a digital platform, and that's the future. I think, you know, India's finished the BPO cycle. I think we're on the digital cycle, and funnily the digital cycle can be run out of your houses, anywhere you are, from a coffee shop to your house, and that's the power of everybody being a part of that digital cycle.
I think we're going to open this for questions.
Sure.
We get a show of hands. But first, can you tell us a little bit about digitaldesh.com? Because
Sure,
that's the table
gosh.
I'm sitting at.
Anuradha is going to kill me if I don't do that. There she is. So, you know, as Now Floats, we one of the things which not as an Outfloats, as every entrepreneur should do and man should do every day, is that you get up and question yourself, and are you doing the right thing? I'm sure you do it. I'm sure you do that, and I'm certainly sure you do it. All of us, Sari does it every day and calls me in the evening and saying different things. But we all question each other. Our own success is questioned every day. And one of the things we realized about a year back was that, are even websites relevant? Why does anybody need a damn website, yaar? Aaj to WhatsApp pe log kaam kar rahe hain. What do we do? So we actually started a journey where we put 4 of our people, put them in a car in Amritsar, drove all the way down to Kanyakumari. In that car, took a month, and we came out with a report, what is called Inside the Internet of India. We met about 217 entrepreneurs, a lot of women, and you can see that in the report. And we went and spent time with each one of them and understanding, मतलब अगर खाना बनाना है सुबह तो बनाते फिर दोपहर को क्या करते हो? There's a lady who's making food in the morning. दोपहर को क्या करते हो? So we wanted to know what is she spending her time on, so that we can get that mind space into our head. And we were so astonished on what's happening in this country. There are 2 examples I gave to Smita, and I was, Amrita, sorry. And there are fishermen in Karwar. We all know where Karwar is? Tier 5 city on coastal Karnataka. Tier 5, Tier 6 city. Fishermen in Karwar are taking pictures of fish as they catch, and as they reach the shore, when they get the 3G signal, they WhatsApp it to all the restaurants, and they can buy fish through WhatsApp. And Saina from CNBC is here, who's coming on with the next journey. She's already, spoken to us about this. I'm going to get Sheroes to be on our next journey. So, there is insights in this country which are so incredible. And as an entrepreneur, as a woman entrepreneur, the only time you got to spend is getting up in the morning, questioning yourself, and to do things which gives you inputs back to make your own entrepreneurial, whatever you're doing, to question that every day and to take that time out to spend time in learning your consumer, learning your customer, whatever it takes. We took this journey. We are taking the next journey, which Anu's taking in about a week from now, and we're doing this again along with Google and CNBC. But that's the crux of what we're talking. Spend time. I think women get so bogged down by they cannot leave the house, they cannot do that. This is 2015. Get out. Get out and do your work. Take an Uber and go meet your customer tonight. Just do it.
Yeah, on that note, I would just like to add, because there's a valid point that there's so much of help available to us, and the only thing we need is to actually get up and go. Yes. I would just put a small stuff here. How many of us are actually entrepreneurs here? Okay. How many of us want to be an entrepreneur sometime soon? Okay, good show of hands actually. So the way I look at it is about like 60% are either entrepreneurs or about to be. The place we start is not idea. Do not try to start with an idea. Do not try to think, and to give me, let me give the background to what I'm trying to say. When Google started, today we know what Google is. It's Android, it's drones, it's everything. But you know where it started? It started with a search, right? Plain simple search engine. What was its rank when it started? Today it's the leading search engine. What was its overall rank? It was 12th. It wasn't even the leading search engine when it started to be a search engine. But what they did was they said, we'll solve this problem. We'll become the leading search engines. Then we'll add something more. Then we'll add something more. And we'll keep becoming the best there. And that's how they grew. Do not get overwhelmed by your own set of work and think, I have so much to do. There are 200 tasks to accomplish before I am successful. Break them down. Find out your core. And the core is not the idea that you're working on. The core is the problem you're trying to solve. If there is no problem existing, you will have a very tough time keeping yourself motivated and being successful. Either you are solving somebody has already solved that problem, but you have a better and more efficient solution to that, then you're going to be motivated and you'll have a passion. You'll have a reason to be on that project. Or if you're solving a new problem, nobody ever went there, nobody ever solved that problem. So I see there as a problem and I'll solve it. But if you're not doing either of them, then rethink, reset. There is no harm in pivoting. We have done it so many times. I'm sure everybody, all of us does it. Reset yourself, rethink, and then again start with the smallest unit of it. And keep yourself motivated, keep yourself building on that unit, and then you will be large. You cannot be the Google on day one, right? Yeah, thank you.
Raj and Kanika also to weigh in on this and then definitely open up for questions. So maybe you can start putting your hands up. It does sound like there's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be obstacles. That idea, that core that, that Smita is talking about, that passion has to be there for whatever you're doing, no matter what. And your thoughts on this? Both of you? And then
I think the flavor of the year is disruptive. Everything disruptive is working, and if that's what it's going to take for you ladies to sort of raise your voice at home, just get disruptive. Sorry, I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, it is education, it is upbringing. You know, I've always seen it. Even I'm born and brought up in London with my dad. He used to tell me, after 10, you're not going out. Set an example for your sisters. And I said, you know what? I'll take my sisters out with me. So we need that. We need that here. I know it's easier done than said, and I know sometimes Delhi cannot be the safest place, and many cities are not safe. But I guess parents do it for your safety, and we're always being told, ye mat karo, wo mat karo, and are aap ladki ho, ye karo. But I think that day and age is gone now. You know, it's important to get out there and to stand for your equal rights. And that's why I say, if you have to be disruptive, be disruptive. Kanika, a prime example, you know, she said, I want to do something for myself. And to hell, you know, with everyone. And unfortunately, it took cancer for her to get her wish come true. It should not take cancer at home. So one thing I do promise you, though, when I can afford it, I'm going to book a private jet with you. Thank you.
To add to that, I'll just say, you know, as long as you've got passion, it's going to work. I mean, you've got to be very, very passionate about what you're doing. I mean, there's all this about, you know, don't be married to your business, etc. Yeah, do not be married to your idea. But unless you aren't passionate about doing something, it's not going to work out for you. I mean, you've got to make it your husband, wife, baby, child, house, everything to make it work. Yeah.
And I think, I mean, it's also important for us to highlight, we are saying, I mean, it is 2015, times have changed. We're obviously talking about we're very privileged to be even having this conversation. But I think it's also interesting to hear, I mean, from all of you in terms of where you're saying where the idea comes, the passion comes, like what order it comes. And there have been a lot of questions this morning also in terms of how do you make the most of an opportunity? How do you almost see that, predict what that trend is going to be? Sure. And part of it is gut, part of it is going with what you believe in. Okay, questions? Let's see if we have any, otherwise we'll keep, yes. We'll get a mic to you. There's one at the back. Oh, there's one all the way in the back. Who's giving the mics?
So just a quick comment for Jasminder. So actually, you know, I just went out to take a call, and it was my friend, and she said that, you know, so she's an ex-Jamburi, and she said, I'm going to actually trying to open an online this thing for, you know, online course and stuff for IELTS and all that. So I said, you know, there was a gentleman at the panel I just heard, and he said that he can make you a website in 3 days. So she said, oh, that's what I need. So I was like, yeah. So I was like, I should tell you that you owe me a treat now. I just got you a customer.
But you also have a lot of friends, I'm noticing this whole day. There's like a lot of, actually, there was one with the Paytm.
Yeah, so I think I have a lot of stories. I'm a storyteller.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's
Thank you very much.
Yeah, hi. You know, TV is a medium of entertainment for most of the people. And I understand shoptainment is a very trending concept, but you know, converting to sales is a very major issue here. I'm myself a digital brand consultant, and for I mean, branding is still an intangible thing, and they don't understand it unless it is not converting to sales. So I can, you know, relate to that problem. So how do you break that, you know, that entertainment zone and convert it into sales? How do you do this? My question is to you, Mr. Raj.
So unfortunately for us, we can't break the entertainment because we give them all the celebrities, so it becomes entertaining. But yes, eventually it leads to conversion. On a regular TV channel, our competitors, the minute they advertise their product, within 5 minutes, they start selling. For us, after 15 minutes, and we've realized the reason for that is they're just sitting looking at the celebrity. Whatever Akshay is saying, whatever Shilpa is saying, we get worried. After 15 minutes, the calls are not ringing. We say, what the hell's going on? The minute you pull the celebrity off and you just go into the product, then you see the conversions start happening. And I feel that our conversions that happen after they've listened to the celebrity are far higher than not having a celebrity on board. So there's a pro and con to this side of the business.
I have another question. I mean, especially to the tech entrepreneurs visiting here. You know, it's we say it's digitalization, and the lot of startups were coming up. I think it's easier to get in these days in the tech field. I'm myself a computer science graduate. But you know, it's very difficult to survive because you know there's always someone better than you working as hard and smart as you are, and the technology is evolving way faster than you can adapt to. So how do you cope up with that challenge of, you know, I have a lot of startups as my clients and all of them face this problem. I mean, how do you cope up with the challenge to adapt as fast and then, you know, think of idea. Every day you have to evolve. I mean, you can't just sit with one product that you've created. So you have to keep evolving. I mean, if, while you were saying that product, you can sleep while you have a product because someone is downloading, but it's not the truth actually. You have to keep adapting and evolving so as to be in the race. So how do you cope up with this challenge?
Yeah. So let me put it very crisply because I hope nobody misunderstood when I said that do not start at idea. The point there was that ideas are they come by dollars or something or dimes, whatever. This is what I hear by investors. What that means is what you are thinking. The next person sitting to you, I mean, the person sitting next to you is as intelligent, right? Is almost from the similar background, can also think the same. So, and great minds do think alike. So, thinking about an idea or a particular objective or a particular project or a particular activity is no big deal. All of us think. If I have like 20 ideas that I have to shoot down every day in my mind. No, I'm not thinking that because if I start thinking in that direction, I'll get distracted. But everyone has those thoughts of great products, great services. The secret sauce is not the idea. Problem is, yes, you have to identify the right problem, the right customer base, the right target customers, all of it fair. But the way I have looked at is the secret of success is neither in your idea, nor in the problem, nor in your, I mean, all these thinking stuff. Your team, yes, I would say the secret is team. But the biggest success, biggest secret that I would like to say is the execution. How well you execute that particular activity. There are so many wallets, so many banks, so many stuff, there's a Flipkart also existing, there's an Amazon also existing. The eBay is also existing, Snapdeal is also existing. Everyone has their own niche, everyone has their own ways of executing and they're making money through some way. Now, if you are wanting to survive and compete with them, you need to find your way. How do you execute yourself best? Nobody else can actually tell you. If you try to copy somebody else, obviously they are doing it better, right? So I would say how you execute your idea is most important. You need to really think there and build a very good team. As I don't know who was saying it, probably Vijay said it, they were sharp people, they were not sharp, they were cutting us. You really need those kind of cutting edge people.
Yeah, I think we've covered.
Hi, I'm taking the opportunity in front of such a fabulous panel to actually get some feedback on my thoughts. Just to give you a brief intro, I'm based out of the UK, but I'm in the process of connecting the two entrepreneurial hubs, UK and India, and this kind of touches upon one of the questions that was raised from the audience, and it was my namesake, I think. My name is we are trying to do that. So by next year, we're trying to bring a little bit of UK to you. But my question to the panel and also to the audience is, one of the segments we're trying to do is, there's a lot of support system available in the UK to the entrepreneurs, and especially to the women as well. And there's a lot of difference also culturally, the way women are seen. Like I also do have boardroom problems at times because I traveled across Europe. So there are some cultural differences, but not as much as was pointed out by you initially. There's more acceptance. So what I would really like to understand to help you solve your problems is what is the one thing you would like to address that would help you in terms of coaching, in terms of mentoring, or in terms of the facilities that are available there that would help you overcome the challenges that you're facing here. So maybe I'll start with the panel, and then maybe if some of the audience members feel very strongly, they can also raise their voice. But let me start with Nika and Raj, because you're based out of the UK.
You're from the UK, you would know better.
Profiling you right now.
I'm not very sure. I have studied in the UK though, done my MBA from there. But what would I really like to bring over here would probably be the work culture. I mean, we're miles away from what real work culture is. A lot of transfer of knowledge in terms of how growth can happen and things like that. Mentorship, not really, because I think India's doing pretty well. We're going great bounds there. But I would just say more about the professionalism and work culture we have back in the UK. India could definitely benefit with that. I don't know how the knowledge transfer would happen, what you would enable to that, but I'm sure that can solve various problems.
I think I totally agree with Kanika. It's all down to work ethics. I think the work ethics that we see in London and the UK, they're far more responsive. They don't look at male, female, child. They look at the person with a concept, the person with an idea. I guess in India, it's very easy to go to a fund and he starts laughing at you. Ha ha ha, there's 20 of those. What the hell are you doing? Go away. And I think the next time somebody asks you for a coffee, you should be the first in and ask the man for a coffee. But yeah, I mean, if we get our ethics correct, if we get our working ethics correct, India can really be a superpower nation. Yes, it's got potential, and what the overseas and the other countries are looking at now is the middle class consumers. Before, I think it was a couple of 100 million. Today, it's 400 million. That's more than the population of America. So we have 400 million middle class consumers in India. Now everyone's looking at us. So before they get in, let's be the first. If you have an idea, don't let somebody run you down. Yes, it's important to get the right people, and like you rightly said, and like Vijay rightly said, that if you need the kind of people who are going to say cut, take a bad cop. Sometimes it's hard to be good cop, bad cop all the time. So take someone who can do that for you. Be passionate about your idea, and I always say, don't die with your dreams, live with your memories.
Yeah, I can. Permission to be honest. Permission to be honest? So two answers. I haven't gone to a mentorship program in India or incubator or a TICON or a Shero summit which says for men only. So I haven't seen one. Maybe there is one existing and you can tell me about it. So I recognize the differences in our orientation, the biological orientation that we have. Let's not go into that. I know the difference between a man and a woman. I think let's not talk about that here. But I bring up the same point. The same ecosystem which is available to men is available to women in India, and I think somewhat more so, if I can say that, because of the actual need for entrepreneurs like me to have diversity in the team. In fact, it's my super focus to make sure that women are in my organization versus actually men, and that's just a personal point. I think the second point which I say very often, and I said, having lived abroad and I've lived in 4 countries and whatever, it's the best place to do a startup is India. You don't have to wash dishes. You don't have to pick up your child at 4. You don't have to spend time with family every evening. You don't have to do ironing of clothes, buying the grocery, getting hit by your wife every day. Sorry. When you are not in India, you are so involved in everything because you are a 50% owner in the household, which is not true in India. Let's be honest about that. Now, if you're going to say the opposite, that women have to do all the work and men can do it, it's not right. Because in this country, women can also get the maids and the help and everything else and go and get something done, right? So this country is an amazing country to get time out. Which country on earth allows working people to come home at 12 in the night? Which country allows it? Husband or wife? Have you thought about that? It's probably only our country. So this is the best place, the best environment to go do a startup, because you can outsource so much of stuff which is not available in the foreign, in other nations. So this is just my view. I think we are in a very big advantage as a country to do what you want to do. I mean, there's so much of ecosystem.
Okay, there was a question there, and then perhaps people can come and chat with you with their perspective. A couple of questions this side.
Hi. Sorry. I had a question for Smita. My name is Rahul. I am a budding entrepreneur. I'm currently working for an organization heading the Center of Excellence for them. My question, what story you actually narrated about the person who's ironing and the cause that you took over, that the money goes to the right hand. Actually, I wanted to understand what are some of the challenges that you're facing with that kind of a situation where having a person who's not literate and ensuring that the money goes into the right hand, and then also having the whole financial setup in between wherein ensuring that she has some kind of setup with the bank. What are some of the challenges around that? I mean, it's a great idea, to be really honest, but involves a lot of work.
Yeah.
So what are some of the challenges that you've faced?
Thanks, Rahul, actually, for asking this. But Sairi and team will throw me out if I put in all my points here, because it will be all day. Huge of challenges. But yes, let me bring up a couple of stuff. See, when we're talking about women taking up financial literacy, let me say it's like these are problems at so many levels. First is literacy itself. Does she even know numbers? Does she even know how to use mobile besides 1 to 9, 0 to 9? Because a lot of them are able to actually dial numbers without knowing that what they're doing, but they know that this is the number, this looks like this, I'm dialing the number, talking to the person I need to, but that's all they can use their phone for, and their phones do not have internet a lot of times. Even if they are internet enabled, then they're not smartphones. And I was actually thinking about this when I was coming to this event. The best way of looking at a social diversity is probably our mobile devices. I think nothing is as diverse as mobile devices. Our refrigerators don't come from 2,500 to 1 lakh, right? The range of price range is different. Our mobile devices are at a huge, there's a huge diversity there. So the users of my app or anybody's app is actually as diverse. So we have to find those people and target that specific section, like you said. For this particular lady, I have to depend on a lot of stuff. I have to make sure that she is literate. I have to make sure that she's digitally literate, not only understanding languages, but digital literate. And then I have to also help her understand how she can use internet, how she can use an app or a web browser based application, even if not a smartphone app, like not from Play Store, using the same application on web. So there are challenges mostly on this part. There is no dearth of curiosity and intent to use. People are wanting to use such things. Not only it's not only about financial thing. There are so many stuff which are actually happening in the ecosystem that are helping women and men equally, who are now getting digitally literate. I would say this is a challenge that's not only for that lady. I would say this is a challenge that we are facing with a lot of other, there's a total section of people who are literate but not digitally literate. So we're trying to help them with a lot of videos, with a lot of talking. There are a lot of foot on the ground which are going and talking to them and helping them understand. There are a lot of initiatives by the government actually to help them understand digitization. And we're trying to push them to actually participate into those also. Thanks.
Hi. My question is to Raj. So we all understand what are different technological things that these people are trying to do, but with respect to your own personal initiatives within the Deals TV, so I understand one part of it, which is with respect to marketing, selling the product via the celebrities and the products which you or maybe your friends might have actually used, and hence you're promoting them. But what additional is in your program for others? So for example, the DCA program that you are planning to launch, or so what are the different things that you are planning to do on that side to build a complete ecosystem, which is maybe nobody has thought of or executed at that length?
I know, gosh. I mean, see, for us, what we've done is every product that's available to us on our channel, in our catalog, is exclusive to us. So some are celebrity products, and some are branded products. So even if a brand, let's say an Intex, wants to launch a new phone, to a tier 2, tier 3 market, it gives us exclusivity on home shopping. So we make sure that if any product, we can guarantee that when our DCA goes to the market, nobody else can say, oh, but we've seen this product cheaper. So we give price, we give variety, and the biggest thing is the demonstration on every single product. We keep harping on that because that is our USP. It's the demonstration through a celebrity, or it's the demonstration through the CEO or the founder or the technology head of the product. And you just got to be innovative. You've just got to have products where people say, wow, I've never seen that in a shop before. So that's where TV commerce is way different to e-commerce, where you're sort of one product in the midst of 10 million products. I always question e-commerce because they talk about customer acquisition cost, and hand on heart, you know, today you might go to Amazon and say, oh great, I got a great deal. And Amazon says, great, you know, we lost 100 rupees on this product, but we've got a customer. But if Snapdeal was to offer the same product a month later cheaper, there's no loyalty to the brand, the loyalty is to the price. And that's why I believe that the more unique you are, the more exclusive products you have, the less chance of losing a customer. And yeah, just keep reinventing the wheel, I guess.
Like a curated experience almost, right? Okay, so we have some questions this side. There's a young man there, there's Ruchi, and also in the back, please don't feel discriminated against, just put your hand up or walk towards the mic. One and then two.
Good afternoon, everybody. I have a very basic question because, like Smita asked, at some point I want to be an entrepreneur. Still, I am a small fry of 2 years of experience. But I have read that being an entrepreneur, one of the basic challenge which every entrepreneur faced is, you know, hiring a proper employee, maintaining that pool of employees to carry forward, to be with them and take their growth and have their growth. So my question is, any of you have faced this challenge and how strong this challenge is?
Oh my God. That is the IP. That is the secret sauce. If you've cracked that, then you can do anything you want.
What are the strategies to correct?
So, yeah, obviously I'll answer that in a, yeah. So, you know, every individual is very different, right? We have to start recognizing that, and probably in today's day and age, they are more individualistic than ever before. And one size will not cut all. वो एक ज़माने में होता था, 15 साल पहले, 10 साल पहले. That's really changed, right? This new generation is very very individualistic. So I think there is no real secret sauce, to be honest with you, except knowing these small things and becoming that, being that, maintaining your human touch with people. As long as you do that and you're able to have that respectful conversation, people will, stay with you. Obviously, purpose matters, money matters, location matters, kind of job matters. Obviously, all that will matter, but what will override is this.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good question also. No secret sauce. Ruchi?
Yeah. So gender pay gap is a real problem in Bollywood, in Silicon Valley, in corporate, and that really affects women in the society at large. There are many budding entrepreneurs, future founders and CEOs sitting in this room. My request to panel members, please share a few words of wisdom. What would you tell them how to tackle this problem and how to make sure from the beginning there is equal pay for equal work?
Maybe we can all give it a
I don't think any of the founders in this room would really differentiate pay or equal work for equal pay. I mean, like it's 2015, so today I would never decide an employee's salary based on whether it's a he or she. It's all about what you bring to the table, how much you qualify, and what you're contributing as a team member. I think we've gone beyond that age, of anyone differentiating on the basis of.
Having said that, though, I think that part of the problem becomes, and again, speaking in this sort of rarefied space, and of course none of you would discriminate, but I think what Rich is talking about is also part of a bigger problem where, for example, you're underpaid from the start. Sometimes you don't have that negotiating, like that hard power in terms of, it's less in business perhaps because you learn how to negotiate, But I think that there are many companies where, for example, women will feel that they're underpaid because they haven't learned how to, for example, address that issue. When you go into an office, and I can tell you, I mean, I used to work at a TV channel, but sometimes it felt like the women are kind of, well, you don't actually have to work for a living. You know what I mean? That kind of approach. Whereas a guy would go in and be like, I earned this, I deserve this salary, you know? So maybe to some extent that's something that maybe you could also address.
Actually, I kind of relate to this because it's very difficult for me to call up customers and ask them for payments. I still can't do it. So my co-founder has been advising me to get a payment recovery team in place because our payments are relatively large, unfortunately. And they don't happen in one swipes of cards or through any of... I mean, yeah. So, you know, I mean, you just, there is no wallet or bank that's providing me a service that can make all the payment in one go online. So I hate calling up a customer because, you know, I mean, I just can't do it. So I think with regard to what you just said, it's more on us again, right, to go and negotiate better numbers, to ask for more. No one's going to turn around and say no to you if you truly deserve it because you're a woman. I've had someone come up to me and ask me for a 240% hike. I said, you know, if you contribute that much to the team, prove it to me for a month. He said, I'll work for free for a month. It was a he. And we gave him a 250% hike. That 10% made a massive difference. But yeah, so I think that onus falls on us to go and negotiate and ask for as much as we can. I know it's very difficult being a woman for some reason, but I'm learning, so I'm sure all of us can.
Sorry, I'll just add small points to your stuff. If there is a term, there used to be a term called glass ceiling that was used for all such discriminations. And I was asked this question way back when I had just quit my job because I was a salaried employed then. And I gave a very quick answer to that I have a diamond head, so I can cut through that glass ceiling. So I don't care. But the fact is, yes, there does exist some bit of it, and that exists in the minds of those people. There is no such policy which says that women should be given lesser salaries. There are certain people, and maybe some men and women who think that maybe woman is putting in less, she's going back on time because she has family commitments, so she's not putting in enough late night work or stuff like that, so the discriminations happen. But these things are very much cultural change very cultural, and this will take a mind shift change, frankly. And that's getting smaller in percentage, and it's a very good thing to happen. Secondly, like she said, that women have to negotiate, yes. We say there is always behind every successful man, there is a woman. So who is behind every successful woman? A whole family. A whole family. You have to grow your girls like that. You have to teach them to negotiate. You have to teach them to ask for what they deserve. And you have to make sure that that lady actually grows up into a confident woman who asks for her share. And as women, we need to not only make friends, but network. There's a difference between making friends and networking. So that will help. Once you get into networking, you will understand how you could actually make the best of it. Thanks.
I have the mic actually.
Sorry, someone just took the mic literally out of his hand, so a while ago, so I can understand.
No, okay. Okay.
Now he's doing it again.
What?
We can give one of these. Just take this one, please.
Okay, I'll finish and then you can take. I run an executive search firm, and one of our focus areas is to help startups hire senior level talent. And one of the challenges we've been facing with startups is that the money is always limited, and they want to attract the talent. And what really happens is that money can't really attract the best talent. One of the solutions we've been constantly to startups is to use women and specially abled people also, who could probably come in for 3 days in a week for you to work. They do your strategic work, and for your tactical work, you can have somebody else. The salary will still not be much higher. It kind of gives you that option. We've been successful in running that model, and we have financial controllers placed with companies who actually are shared now. But we found it a real struggle to actually make startups and make entrepreneurs understand the value that you can bring to the table by getting people like this. So I want to ask you guys, how open are you guys to hiring, and I'm talking about mid or junior level talent. This is senior level talent, could be CHROs, could be CTOs, could be, other senior level talent. What we feel is there's a huge potential. There are a lot of women out there who cannot do, the full-time role that they were doing earlier because of certain challenges at home. They're still available for 3 full days, perhaps even a 4th day work from home. This gives you great opportunity to get somebody, let's say at 50 lakhs coming to you at 30 lakhs now. But even then we feel that, a lot of startups give us this answer, no, we're probably not ready for it, or, maybe at a later stage when we grow really big, but not right now.
So my personal perspective, certainly. So, and I do work with some 3-day-a-week people, just on the side note first, but I'm not fond of it, and I'll tell you why. Startup hard, superbly difficult, right?
Yeah.
We all know that, right?
Yeah.
Superbly difficult. I am expecting someone to work for me 9 days a week.
Sure.
So usse kya hota hai? I am trying to find the orientation of the person that when she's taking a shower in the morning, she's thinking about the startup. When she's going home, she's thinking about the startup. That's the kind of people I would like to attract at the startup stage,
sure.
Right? So you're talking about a staging thing, right? Once we are 3 years old, now we are more open to the 3 days a week. But in the first 2-3 years, I'll be damned if I get someone for 3 days, because I don't want to outsource. It's like same thing as outsourcing. It's like saying, can I outsource my HR in startup? You cannot. Can you outsource a design team in a startup? You cannot. That's the IP you hold. So, you want people to be fully involved in 3 days. By the time this 3-day person comes back, the next week, I would have pivoted twice. So the problem is a staging problem, in my humble opinion. It's a staging problem. I think you should attack the startups which are 3 years, 4 years, Series B stage. You will get a lot of people who will give even top dollar for that matter, but they'll give it for the value of the person. I would not give it because I want the 100% of the time with me. So that's just my opinion on why I would, in a very early stage not pick someone who, but that said, I think there are a lot of jobs which can be given out for 3 days a week, and that flexibility, and that's what we're talking here about, So I have a rule in my company where we have no timing to come to office. There is, if anybody checks anyone ke tu aaj late aaya hai, that guy is, I pull him up. We have no timing for anyone. They have no timing to show up. They can sit anywhere they want, coffee shop, friend's house, cousin's house, marriage party, don't care. So, just work, and that's the kind of ethos we look for. And when you get that kind of personality in your team, they will not work 3 days. They will work 9 days a week. So that's how it works, in my opinion.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Aditya Sisodia. I'm consultant. I work with startups as well as I work with MNC and CHROs and all the head. Now, there are 2 parts of this question. The first part is directed to Ms. Smita. Initially, you mentioned once you are in a service sector, only when you are awake, you are recurring the money. In a product, someone is downloading it. So the first part is this thing. I'm a consultant. I know when I'm out there, present out there, then only people know about me. So in terms of this, apart from networking, which you just mentioned, and apart from the referral thing, what else can be done to ensure that you have the personalized service? One is this thing. And second part, just coming back to the earlier question, you were saying that you need to negotiate on the price. Now, once you are delivering a service or a product, we have got a tendency. Now, I've seen it with startup also, and I've seen it with MNC. No matter how good is your service, people are going to negotiate. Even if it is the MRP, people are going to negotiate. So question number 1, how are you going to ensure, in addition to referral and networking, the personalized aspect? Because my work, I'm not using technology. As per the movie Up in the Air, if you use technologies, somewhere things are going to get disconnected. And the second part is the negotiation part. You are good, but human tendency, like Raj, sir, you just said that people will go not on loyalty, people will go on price. So if the panel and the members also can address this issue, because many of the co-founders I'm out here with, they are also facing the similar issue. So,
I'll let the negotiation part be taken by Kanika and Raj, right? But I'll take your first one. I think, let me reframe my sentence. What I meant by you'll be paid as for services only when you're awake. What I mean is normally, I don't know if you worked in various IT services, but normally they get paid by head counts. So if so many people are deployed on a project, their per hour rate is so and so, or there is a fixed bid project, you get this work done and you have these many people. So you're only getting paid for that person for that work, right? And so that person has to show up, that person has to work. That's the difference. But in products, even if once your product is developed, your team could be working on enhancing, upgrading or whatever, or taking a break and saying, okay, the product is stable for some time. But as long as the product is being downloaded and useful, you're making money out of it. That's the difference. However, when I talk about personalization, you yourself answered your question that you're not using technology, right? In this overly connected world, like who could say I would get to meet Shilpa Shetty's husband here? Huh? Come on, this is overly connected world, right? And if you want to personalize stuff like this, I think you need to use more of Twitters, more of LinkedIn's, more of your Facebooks. Facebook is an awesome place to actually have business discussions too. So we're coming up with a software, because I am basically from a software testing background. So we are doing a conference, and we are doing a conference in December for testers. Believe me, so many of my delegates and my speakers are actually dropping in through that route, Facebook, some of them through LinkedIn groups. These are the places, and my clients, the best sales pipeline I've built out of LinkedIn for IT services. So I think maybe that's the place you have to look at.
Honestly, I think it's the best time to be a consumer at the moment, because the kind of discounts you have, the Flipkart billion-dollar sale and this and that. I personally know about 20, 25 vendors that sell at 100 and they can buy it back on Flipkart for 95. So I don't understand this business. Unless you have really deep pockets, it doesn't make business sense. And I agree with the Kishore Byanis of the world that bricks and mortar, your TV commerce, and these are sustainable models. E-commerce, with all due respect, I don't know how long it's going to work until you can keep burning money, and eventually you'll list, but there'll always be one guy who's going to take the hit. So yeah, you've got to negotiate hard. Price is going to matter, but until you have these sharks in the market and until they don't expire all their money, it's going to be a consumer market.
So who is a better negotiator, male or female?
It doesn't boil down to male or female. It boils down to sharks or no sharks. I mean, be it, it's the e-commerce players at the moment to have the last say, so it doesn't matter if you're male or female.
There's some questions in the back, and we're just going to do a quick time check because I know we're a little behind. So maybe 2 more questions, is that fine?
Yeah, one more question here. First of all, unless it is executed on the ground. But the case is, while we are finding innovative solutions to certain problems, we are actually getting ahead. But the case is, sometimes we do not think about, exhorting ourselves to get programmed, to get unity, to find more innovative solutions to them. So how can we exert ourselves to find more unique problems which would make us think about more innovative solutions?
I'm not sure if I understand the question well, but let me reframe.
Yeah,
asking?
Just to illustrate a bit, suppose say, there are different kinds of balls being thrown to Sachin Tendulkar, the master blaster. If we would be, diversifying the kind of balls that are being thrown at the master blaster, it would be testing his limits of, it would be trying his batting skill, and he would be coming up with more innovative shots to them. So the more unique the problem, innovative would be the solution. So how can we program ourselves to get more unique problems? That is my question.
Okay, I'm not sure if, okay, let me answer you and then see if we can actually, if I'm hitting the right point. But if I knew that this particular idea is going to fetch me million or billions, all of us would be doing it, right? To be able to just hit upon that particular idea which is going to give me billion, it's not something that you can predict with astro or some numerology or something. It's not going to work out. The prediction doesn't work like that. You have to be smart, you have to iterate quick, you have to understand what your product is, what your market is talking about, and you have to listen to the feedback and respond quick before you lose that customer. So you don't build unicorns by saying, okay, unless obviously you are Tesla and you built, you built something which is very unique, you had huge, you have to understand the market, take the feedback, pivot, again pivot, again pivot, pivot in the right direction. So hear clearly what your customer is asking for, what they are saying, and then pivot accordingly. And if you're doing all the right things, I don't see a reason why one should not be a unicorn.
And I think that might have behind. Sorry, she's been waiting for a bit. Come forward.
The demonstration purpose is that it can sell services. Normally in e-commerce, you have that particular stigma of being able to sell only products in e-commerce. In television as a medium, what are your thoughts on that? You can actually sell a service, let's say for example, tourism service. You can actually show a video and a beautiful program around it to really sell the destination. Likewise, any service, whether it is educational service, it's healthcare services. In India, 58% of the economy is a service, in service sector. Any thoughts on how you intend to really use your television channel as a medium for that?
Yeah, if I've understood the question, you're talking about services through TV, be it education, travel. TV can sell anything. It's the medium of demonstration. Through this medium, if you have the right product and the right team behind it, there's nothing that you can't sell. We all believe in what we can look, touch, feel, and the closest thing to that, without going to a store, is a demonstration on TV. E-commerce, I still struggle when I look at a two-dimensional picture and say, shall I buy it, shall I not? I'm not too sure. But when I see a demo, I get more excited by it. Whilst I can still put my hand to my heart and say I've probably never bought a tele-shopping product. But saying that, I'm more convinced by it, and even if I see it, as silly as it sounds, I'm stabbing myself in the back here, I would probably try and find it online somewhere. And then that's where my USP comes in. Because I can't find that tele-shopping product anywhere else, I know it's only available on Best Deal, I will get a sale. But I don't think every channel has that advantage. So yes, the answer to your question is you can sell anything. We can look at educational packages, we can teach English, you can teach any language you want to, you can sell holidays, because it's a pleasure to see with your eye, and jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai.
That's a great business idea, by the way. ये राम प्रसाद आपके घर आके ऐसे साफ करेंगे. Yeah, exactly. आपका सिंक साफ करेंगे ऐसे. It's beautiful.
So on that lovely note, I think, oh, there's actually two more questions. Oh no, there's three more questions. Can I just get a time check very quickly from the Sheroes team? We have time or we're dead? Okay, so we'll do one thing, one last question. If you make it really short. Oh boy. Okay.
How much time are we? So very short. So जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. पर हम TV देख रहे हैं क्या? Are we watching TV? How much time are we spending, watching TV? I mean, it's a question that we all need to ask. So while we need a great passion and a great execution and delivery on promise for our products and services to survive, we also need to question before we start. We need to vet the idea. And Raj, this question is to you. Why TV? I mean, I'm just wondering, I'm sure you would have done your due diligence and it has to work. You would have done your financials and, the plan. I need to understand why TV.
Before Raj gives you an answer about all his stats and mathematics and all, okay, I'm just going to give you a very generalistic response. I come from a tier 2 city. I'm living in Delhi. I don't watch TV. I haven't paid my Tata Sky payments for, I think, 2-3 years for 3 television sets. Right? My mother, on the other hand, lives in Bhopal. She probably watches 14 hours a day of television. Tier 2, Tier 3 villages, I'm sorry, this is not working. It's all about television. You don't need research for that. And Tier 2, Tier 3 is where your masses are, is where your middle income is. That's where all your money is. We've got to get out of Delhi and Bombay and think of it.
You're hired. Tier 2, Tier 3, everyone is watching TV. Trust me. I mean, we pretty much call up our uncles, aunts and say, "Hamara channel dikh raha hai na?" Because we don't know if it's on air or not on air. We need to make sure our distribution, our carriage team is doing a good job. I mean, TV is a medium that's going to keep going, and we say TV kaun dekh raha hai. Look at QVC. It's home shopping in America. It's worth $20 billion. It's the largest home shopping company in the world. So if it's still working in America, which is so advanced, India TV has got a long way to go. And tomorrow, even with the Geo and the 4G coming, if it gets faster to watch on mobiles, great. You'll watch my TV channel on your mobile instead. So I'm not too worried about that angle. What was the other part of the question? That was it?
That was the answer. So yeah, so you're willing to come to mobiles also, if if it is, your channel could be seen on, yeah, which is great, yeah. Thank you.
I think we're going to have to wrap this panel up. There's a small AV that's going to play from Best Deal TV. Oh, I'm so sorry, that's very persistent. And okay, quick, and I'm, okay, go for it. You guys are doing a very good job, obviously, which is why the questions keep coming. Absolute last question. Yes. Maybe just one part of the question.
Yeah, all right. So to be very crisp, okay, I would say you need your people with whom you can bounce your ideas. So sound bouncing boards, that's what you need. And once that's in place, I would say core can never be outsourced, should not be outsourced. Yeah, so core should remain with you, whether it's if it's the design of your product, that's your core, do not outsource it. If it's the feature, the function, the payment gateway, whatever whatever you have built, that's the core. Please do not outsource it, keep it to yourself. And before that, yes, talk to your potential customer. At least make a list of 100 people whom you think these could use it. Talk to them. If you still feel after 100 interviews that yes, this can be used, go ahead, build it.
And out of that 100 people, 5 will join you in your team. That's my personal guarantee to you. Make a phone call to me. You talk to 100 people, 5 will join you. It's just my guarantee.
Yeah, never outsource. Even if you can't afford it, you've got to figure it out. You've got to have it in-house. And design development, it all goes hand in hand. You just see everything, the number of attritions that keep happening. As you develop more, your design will change. As you design more, your development will change. So.
Okay, and we're going to stop outsourcing the mics now. We thank you so much. Thank you to our incredible panel. There will be an AV playing. Thanks so much.